Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mental Health Awareness Initiative. And today we have with us Dr. Ratan Singh. At the young age of 80, he is an active member in the space of mental health. Recently co authored a case report on vitamin B12 and dyslexia, which is published in the Canadian Journal of Orthomolecular Medicine in the first issue of 2021. A clinical psychologist, and has been an associate professor in medical college hospitals in USA, Malaysia, and Banaras Hindu University Institute of Medical Science. He has formerly been a consultant in nutritional and neurobehavioral psychology in Jaipur Hospital, India. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
It is a privilege for us to have you and to talk to you.
Right. Okay. Now,
Sir, would like your views on mental health in the current situation.
that's good. Am I audible or bring my
You are
ear
audible.
home?
You are audible.
Or bring, okay. The current ills in society, as you said, number one is superstition.
Okay.
And current situation of mental illness, apart from usual mental illnesses like bipolar, schizophrenia, suicidal depression, they are already known. But what is happening today at societal level is rape, murder, and suicide. These are the reports coming in newspapers. And well, corona is not so much a mental issue, except that we don't follow distancing, but the mental issues in society, going by newspaper reports, are rape, murder of underage girls, and suicide. Mostly these are among or on girls and women.
That is
Superstition, for example, in low socio-economic stratum, there is superstition that they should have at least one male child. This is a basic superstition. Who will give us shoulder at the time of death? Who will do our cremation? Naturally, a boy, a son. And the family lineage passes to the male members, not female members. Now, these are superstitions, the social ill that are promoting. And you see, we'll go to college later. I mean, recently our maid, in spite of my advice not to go, went to Haryana to a tantric to get a male boy. She has mm, 4 girls, and now she wants at least one male boy, and so she went to take the help of tantric for this. That's the level of superstition. And reports, as we know, are coming in newspapers about what these tantrics do. Now, should we go to causes of these ills? We can also talk of theoretical things like what is mental health and Mental Health Act and RCI. But these are just academic exercises. We can bypass these issues, these topics. But important word and concept is stress. Stress. So, coming to the causes of these ills in society, stress is the reason. Stress, when I say, generally we think that it is only mental stress. Stress is of many kinds. As Phil said, Phil, who gave us the concept of general adaptation syndrome. He said that he studied many kinds of stresses, no matter what is the type of stress or cause of stress. The common denominator is autonomic nervous system agitation, sympathetic nervous system agitation, vasoconstriction. This is what happens, and if we keep it low, the sympathetic agitation, then the stress level will be low. Stress hormones will be low, like adrenaline, adrenal cortex secretion, cortisol. Cortisol is immunosuppressant. There is one doctor of Australia, he is no more. But after meeting India's Shivpuri Baba in Kathmandu, Shivpuri Baba was from Kerala. But he settled down in Kathmandu. This Dr. Ainsley Mills of Australia met him for a week, and he learned so much that when he returned to Australia, he developed a special technique of meditation. A special technique, not known to others. It is different from Vipassana. It is different from focusing on breath or observing your thoughts. It's very different. And when he returned to Australia, he wrote a letter to his Medical Council of Australia that henceforth he will not practice medicine, and he returned his license back and said, henceforth I will practice only meditation. And it was by meditation that he completely reverse confirmed terminal stage cancers of many kinds just by meditation and nothing else. Patients, his patients were coming to him already taking medicines for several years, already in terminal stage. They would come to him at last stage. And he has published his works in mainstream medical journals, including Lancet and Medical Journal of Australia. Dr. M.Phil, that is the level of work possible to reduce stress. He explains the mechanism of action.
Sir, if I would just interrupt,
Sure.
um, you were mentioning about the social illness and the stress factor and the ignorance part. So, what could be the remedies like for the society at large or for people, who are listening
That's
right
good.
now? They can keep in mind.
Good that you brought me there. Mm, The causes is stress. Treatment is stress reduction, and causes is, it will surprise many. Causes is nutrition, what you eat. Now, in that, sugar is the main culprit, and others are wheat, gluten, basically grain. For 10,000 years, humans, because the agriculture came only 10,000 years ago, but before that, for 3 million years, what were we eating? Our ancestors, our ancestral primates, what were we eating? What were they eating? We were hunting and eating raw fruits and vegetables and hunting and eating meat. That is the ideal diet. Just nothing else, no grains, only non-veg and fruits. And see what happens to your health and to your mental state. And no sugar. Well, I can expand on sugar thing, but if I go too far, bring me back again. Sugar is a disaccharide. Safe sugars are monosaccharides like glucose, honey, fructose. They are safe. But no sugar. There is sugar even in milk and sugar in grains as maltose. No sugar. If we lack or have reduced level of disaccharide enzyme that digests sugar, our sugar will be hijacked, taken over by pathological bacteria in our gut and candida fungus and a very nasty pathogenic bacteria that escapes even antibiotics, and that is Clostridia difficile. It produces a toxin. It cannot be killed by antibiotics. So probiotics is the answer. A special probiotic kills this Clostridia difficile, and main culprit is Candida fungus. Candida fungus uh, ferments our food, and pet food of Candida fungus is sugar. Pet food of cancerous cells is sugar. Now, sugar, yes, when when fermented by Candida ferments it in anaerobic atmosphere and produces alcohol. It is our own auto brewery. It produces alcohol that sits to the intestine, goes to blood and brain. We are we are we are addicted to sugar because we are addicted to alcohol. And these sweet shops, halwai, sweet shops, they are spreading sugar addiction. Until 11th century in Germany, sugar was sold in chemist shops and was kept in lock and key. It is in 11th century that the British brought sugar to India and spread the sugar and the many mental ills throughout the world. Even jaggery, except for iron in it, is basically sugar. I have told you already what are safe sugars: stevia, glucose, and honey. Now, what does these wrong diets containing this sugar, what does it do to our brain? I give an example from rats. When rats were injected with a toxic bacteria called Toxoplasma gondii,
Okay.
they, as we know, rats avoid cats. But these rats purposely went around to smell the cat's urine and frequently visit that place where they smelled cat's urine so that the cat would come and eat them. That means suicide. The brain was commanding them to commit suicide. Does our brain determine our behavior? No. It is the gut bacteria that determine our brain and behavior through brain. The gut bacteria. If gut bacteria are good and happy, our brain will be tip top and behavior will be fine. These crimes are because of this factor. Twinkie. In fact, a lawyer in England, one person committed murder. The lawyer succeeded in having the judge to reduce his client's death sentence to life imprisonment just by arguing that his client committed the murder under the influence of Twinkie. Twinkie is a junk snack food full of sugar. And so the judge reduced this sentence. That is already reported. This case happened in UK.
Okay.
Also, I have also seen cases of hypoglycemia. They have to and should eat some snack little bit every 2.5 hours or 3 hours. If they don't, then their glucose level in brain falls down and they become mad. They become agitated. I had a girl who came from school. This was her typical style. Throw the bag on the dining table and rush to the kitchen where her mother was preparing food and she would eat something immediately. That particular day, and that's the reason why the doctor father had to consult me. Uh, the girl came from school, threw the bag on the table, went to the kitchen to eat something. There was a kitchen knife there. She picked up the knife and attacked the mother. Why? Because she could not tolerate delay in food, even for a second. The brain was starving, and that was the reaction. So I say that wrong food or no food. That's it. Wrong food, malnourished, or uh, no food, that means undernourished. The wealthy, rich people who can buy food suffer from malnourishment, and that is the cause of their ills, including mental. And now I am including uh, even major psychosis. I can narrate case after case how I treat psychotic conditions. Patients have been taking medicine 7 years, 10 years, non-stop psychiatric medicine, and yet no improvement, only side effects. They come to me and uh, I treat them without medicine just by fixing their diet and some supplements and attacking the candida.
That
Candida fungus can be killed by a, a fungus that is harmless to us but kills the candida fungus. It's easily available in the market. And well, so that's how I treat my patients. Uh, I can narrate case after case on that point.
would
Suicidal depression,
uh,
auditory hallucinations, suicidal depression. I can cite these cases. Yes, go on.
no, it is very, very interesting and a nice analogy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really very nice that you have shared the link between the wrong food or the no food. Um, just hold on, sir. Yeah. Um, the wrong food or the no food, they being the culprit, like in affecting people's mental health and the way they behave also. And
Yes,
and also you have rightly said that yes, the general adaptive syndrome that you had mentioned, that is also a very important issue to be discussed. Even when we taper down the agitation caused by the sympathetic nerves, that can also reduce the stress level. These are a very good, and it's very insightful and very interesting to learn about it, especially when I am listening to you because you have a lot of experience. It's really nice. And the remedies that you have mentioned is like the probiotic, the meditation part, to have a good diet, to wade away from the or to walk away from the superstitious part, to get educated. That is important. Uh, so
Hmm?
would I'm just interested to know that what would your advice be to the people listening to you right now as to how they should remain strong and positive?
Get yourself tested for uh, blood sugar because the hypoglycemic range, fasting blood sugar in the morning, the hypoglycemic range is 110 to 130. If you are in this range, it's okay. Beyond 130, you are hypoglycemic. After food, 1 hour after food, your blood sugar should not rise above 160. This is one. You can have glucometer at home and measure, and have your thyroid also measure. Hyperthyroidism leads to some mm, behavioral problems, agitation, anger, mm, and mm, hemoglobin level. Because a brain starving for oxygen cannot function properly and will function like a deranged person. So these are basic tests: thyroid, hemoglobin, blood glucose. And blood glucose and insulin in blood, because insulin should be below 10. And if hypoglycemia or diabetes cannot be caught in blood sugar testing, then it will be caught in insulin testing in blood. Even cortisol can be measured in blood. Blood cortisol level is not important as much as the pattern. Morning it should be high. After 3 p.m. it should start falling. It should be low. This should be the pattern. If the pattern is reversed, then what happens is, as many of these schizophrenics have, that they in day, sleep in day, and keep waking in night. So this is because the normal pattern of cortisol levels is reversed. There are ways to reclock it. Anyway, I'm diverting.
No, you
Bring
continue, sir. Like, how then, if we find the pattern to be reversed, or if we find that yes, we are sleeping more and we get it checked, then what should we do?
That will take a long time.
So, just in I mean, just in few lines, if you could suggest.
If cortisol is low in the morning, now first of all, fix your circadian rhythm, sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is very good for that. Sleep-wake cycle. Now, no, it will take long time if I expand on that. Second, to increase the level of cortisol in the morning, as it should be, the way out is to take cortisol. The synthetic cortisol in the market is prednisolone. But a better one is, there is a natural cortisol available on Amazon. I will have to see the name, I've forgotten. But mm, the cortisol level in the morning, that means when you wake up, you take it. And um, so cortisol, and if your thyroid function is low, because a study has reported that when uh, when thyroid function was increased, such that the pulse rate uh, started hovering around 110 per minute, then all and for 3 months they took natural desiccated thyroid gland of pig, natural desiccated thyroid gland. I used to get natural desiccated thyroid gland of hand. I would ask the butcher to cut the neck, give me the neck part, right down to the chest, and I would boil it and eat it. You know. So natural desiccated thyroid is available on Amazon. And so when this natural desiccated thyroid was given to um, skin, but they took it for 3 months, so that their pulse rate stayed around 110. All 80 cases improved. All 80. So thyroid we should keep in mind. This is the report by Abraham Hofer, who worked a lot on schizophrenia and vitamin B3. His were the first double-blind studies in psychiatry, and he used vitamin B3 for schizophrenia. So you see my point. Diet, proper diet, not undernourished, not malnourished, and taking some supplements, keeping your gut healthy. Then your bad thoughts, nasty behavior will disappear.
Okay. That is really nice, sir. Thanks a lot for this input because, yes, nutrition is important, as you have said, not undernourished nor overnourished. One should have a balanced diet and take care of their glucose level, their thyroid, their hemoglobin. They should monitor themselves. If they find a behavior or a mood swing, which is having, being recurrent, like, so this will help definitely. And I'm also very curious to know if you can just share any of your stories when you did the internship in Wolpe's behavior therapy unit at Temple University Medical School, Philadelphia.
No, that's a long way back.
I know, sir, but
But,
we
but
rarely find this, and it's like an honor to listen to you.
yes, I learned from the horse's mouth. And in our unit, Dr. Aaron Beck, who is famous for cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, he used to come. He's alive. He's nearing 100. Uh, and he is still teaching in University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. He replies to me, uh, when I was in Dr. Wolpe's unit, we had on our staff as our teacher a hypnotist, a flex therapist, a child behavior therapist, a biofeedback expert, and I've been through this. As interns, we were posted under these experts for brief periods. My internship I did for few years. Mm. Just these are the things I love. Mm. Wolpe himself taught whenever he wished, and Isaac called him as the modern leading learning theory. According to Wolpe, even our perception is learning. You know why? Because when we see a human being, the image on our retina is formed upside down because light rays travel in a straight line. So
True.
the image of his head will be at the bottom of our retina. The image of his legs will be at the top of our retina. So the image formed will be upside down. Now he questions how come when the brain receives that image from retina, we see the person right side up. How? That's what he says brain learns. Brain learns to conduct itself in environment. He was a great learning theorist. And he started his work with inducing neurosis in cats. And Mary Cover Jones was Watson's student, old lady of classical Pavlovian conditioning. Watson, his PhD supervisor, Watson's famous statement was, "Give me any brain with clean slate and freedom to train him. I can make a great scientist or a hardened criminal from that brain." No, this is a typical behaviorist statement. And when his student was Mary Cover Jones, I and Wolpe went to receive her at the Philadelphia airport, and in our conference, Mary Cover Jones, Aaron Back, Ogden Lindsley, the first PhD student of B.F. Skinner, Ogden Lindsley, Ion, the originator of the token economy for psychotics in Lord, and and Neil Miller. Neil Miller in those days used to work on rats. He had become famous for increasing the temperature of one ear of the rat while simultaneously decreasing the temperature of other ear of the rat. He did it by biofeedback. So he came. So all these people assembled there in that conference of Joseph Wolpe, organized by Joseph Wolpe. At that time in Philadelphia, the movie was running called Clockwork Orange. And the university student activists threatened us to bomb this conference because we were trying to develop ways to control behavior of humans against their will.
Okay.
we, we survived. The bombing didn't occur.
This is so interesting, sir, and enriching also because we seldom read um, from any medium
You
about.
know, B.F. Skinner made the first teaching machine. It's reported in Scientific American. Teaching machine,
And
program learning, precision teaching. His statement is famous. Why do we learn? Why do we uh, study? Why do we study? I mean, why our students study? They study to avoid the bad consequences of not studying.
that is so really, I mean, very a new thing that I am listening.
And our education system is defective. It is what? It is teacher centered, whereas it should be student centered. At present, in lecture method, whose brain works more? Teacher. Student's brain, please. Whereas and revision, teachers get the revision. It should be other way around. For 12 years in Malaysia, for 3 months we were taught this new method, and for 12 years I have taught under this method. The dean would open the door of the classroom to see if a teacher had started speaking. We were not supposed to speak. The students were supposed to speak. It had to be not teacher seminar, but student seminar. We would sit behind in the audience, last row. The students would conduct the classes and the student seminar. We could ask them and a small group discussion among the students, 10 to 15 students group, and we would split the full class in 3 or 4 groups. And we were not supposed to speak. We could ask questions. We could tell them in advance what books, what page numbers they should read. We could give them handouts also to read, but we were not supposed to speak. We were not supposed to give the answer. We could only ask questions. The students were supposed to discover the answer. Now, this means the students are learning. Whose brain, after all, who will give exam? Whose brain should work? Who will face life? Not we, but the student. So our education system is defective.
I'm sure all the teachers would agree with you because they are being toiled and they are being exhausted uh, just to prepare a lecture itself.
It's nonsense. When I went to American University in Bulgaria, the second day the provost called me to his office. He told me that, look, do you know why I selected you? I didn't read your biodata or curriculum vitae. The first cover page that you wrote, and I read the first line of that cover page, in which you wrote the first sentence, I don't teach. That was enough for me to hire you. I knew what you do, and I took you. That should be the spirit. We should change our education system. Spread the word at highest levels of ministry and whatnot. The education system should be student centered, not teacher centered. Who has to face the world? Students. Who are the future of the country? Students, not we. And we proudly think that our lectures are benefiting them.
Very true.
Wrong. What they do is cram the lecture and vomit them out in the examination, get the paper degree. When they come to the market, they find their degrees are in no demand. Unemployed, educated people. That's the situation.
Absolutely, because if they have just rote learned and not have had an experience to even voice out their doubt and how to handle that, the skill sets
You
get decreased.
see, you are a psychologist. You have a degree in psychology. You know what would a paper degree is. You have, unless you develop the skills yourself, you are useless for society. Whereas we can do a lot for society, but we are not able to because our degree did not qualify us in real sense. Student union should rise up and revolt against these teachers and teaching methodology.
Okay, so then it's like we will be stepping into another session with you to talk about the revamping of education system and making better more like making the society a better skilled society rather than being educated unemployed society at large.
Yes, that's what we are producing.
We
Either totally, either totally uneducated or educated unemployable.
true. I will definitely have your time booked in future to discuss about this and also more of your experience because would love to share it with the listeners that at that point of time how it was that because you have a lot of experience since the starting of let's say the word about mental health itself and how it has reached to this stage.
You say, nice of you, when you made a good summary, but my next 3 Saturdays are engaged uh, with mental health issues. There is another person who will be conducting um, my webinar like you are conducting. There is another person waiting, and he will be conducting my three subsequent, one after another, uh, um,
That's really
Saturday,
nice. That's really nice,
Saturday.
sir.
So to keep this month out, I will be busy with him.
Absolutely, sir.
You can join if you want, but I will be I will be doing it with him this month.
Okay, sir. I'll get in touch with you and we can fix up some other time whenever you are free.
Sure.
And please do take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
and regards
And
to you and your family to be and
thank
please
you.
be safe.
Thank you. I want to know from you how how others can see or listen to what you have recorded.
If you could have repeated.
If I could have what?
If you could just repeat what you have asked me.
My son who lives, my son is a psychiatrist,
Okay.
um, a senior consultant in UK, and
Okay.
he says how he can uh,
Listen.
listen to this audio that you have recorded.
Okay. I will share all the links with you also, and
Okay.
I will be posting the podcast on all the social media platform, that is on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And from any of the social media platform, they can listen, or you can also share the link with them.
Yeah, I will share link with him.
Okay.
And on YouTube, what should we look for?
On YouTube also, I will share the link with you once the link is generated. I will
Okay.
share it with you.
For YouTube also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, great.
So they can listen from through YouTube also.
Good.
I will do that. It's really an honor, sir, and I'm like, speechless also, and I would love to listen to a lot of stories and the small experiences that you have had throughout your, practical life.
I have two, I have two more interesting experiences.
It's really
But
wonderful to
my
listen.
pleasure, my pleasure. In those days, when I started my career in government mental hospital here in Jaipur, my job used to be to differentiate between genuinely mentally ill against those who were imposing themselves, posing as mentally ill. Because because Pakistan used to push uh, some spies posing as mentally ill in a group of genuinely mentally ill. My uh, job was to differentiate.
Okay, from the real, from people who are really ill and from those who are just imposing to be ill.
Yeah,
Okay.
posing to be ill to escape jail because they are normal and they have come to India without regular channel flow to differentiate.
That must be really very tricky also at times.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is really nice, sir. So
Welcome.
uh, with that enriching note, I would like to thank on behalf of all the listeners and myself, sir, for your valuable time. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart and wish you all the best of luck and healthy time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you a lot. Welcome.
Take care and hope to
Thank you.
have a talk with you in future soon. Till then, be safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir. With
Good day.
that, sorry, sir.
Good day to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir. With that note, we end the episode. Hope you all loved listening to Ratan, sir. It is really an opportunity for all of us to learn and to listen from him what how the journey of a psychologist is, how they went through the learning process, and how we can take care of our own self simply by proper diet. Hope to see you tomorrow with another speaker. Till then, take care. Bye, sir.
Bye.